What's an unsaid rule which pisses you off whenever it's broken? Standing in lines. I'm living in India and people don't follow the line rule. If there's a big line, some people will just be like, oh, there's a long line. That's too bad for those people, and then they'll just walk to the front. It's infuriating. Don't cut the goddamn line. There's no reason to unless it's an absolute emergency, and it usually isn't. Sometimes you would be risking a heart attack if you snort the whole thing. Roommates. I don't mind sharing my food with you, but do not use up all of something I bought and then not tell me, because when I go to make a sandwich and all my cheese is gone and I had no idea, I'm going to be really peed. Especially when I was thinking about the freaking amazing sandwich I was going to make when I got home, and now I have to settle for toast. It's just not okay. And please don't open something that's unopened unless you ask first. If you're really stoned one night with hella munchies and my Cheetos are calling you, or my tub of Ben & Jerry's, eat it because I don't want you to suffer. Just make sure you replace it ASAP. More annoying to me is when they don't finish it but leave a uselessly small amount to get the "I didn't use all of it" defense. You mother sucker. If there is a half teaspoon of milk in the jug, just finish it. If you're using an electronic device that makes noise in public, wear headphones or mute the volume. Also, if you're inside of a small or quiet room and you need to make a call, make it brief and quiet, or step outside into a hallway where you won't be disturbing other people. Touching my monitor screen to point to something. One time I needed to show my teacher something on my laptop to get his help with something, and he freaking took out his pencil and literally started to CIRLCE things on my screen. Like he wasn't just using his pencil to point at things, he actually freaking wrote on my screen. It seriously peed me off, and it took forever to get it all off. When someone is organizing a group event, for example to see a concert or football match, and you agree to go, however in the last minute you can't make it anymore, you are still expected to pay for that ticket or find someone else to replace you, not tell the organizer that it is their problem now. A guy had a friend who did that crap to me, freaking front row seats to a baseball game, flaked out at the last minute, and he never freaking paid. Don't be a jerk to the poor teenager working extra shifts at a crappy retail job to pay for university. People who talk in full voice on their cell phones during movies, concerts, plays or public events where their conversations ruin it for those around them. This goes for sitting in waiting rooms and playing games on their phone as well. It's always the old people who sit there with casino noise or trivia crack on full volume interrupting my reading. OMG. Please learn to turn your sound off. Don't make fun of me to impress a girl or other new friends. Happened to me too many times. If you are in the grocery store or retail store, treat your cart like you would a car and stay to the right, looking at you butthole Walmart shoppers who want to stop and hold up traffic for a chit chat. Don't eat the first or last of anything you didn't purchase, unless you're given specific permission by the person who did buy them. Let people out of the door, elevator, train, etc. before you try to squeeze in. We're not animals. I was at the hospital recently, and when we got down to the ground floor, there was like a semicircle surrounding the elevator of people waiting to get on, and some woman pushing what I assume was her mother, an old lady in a wheelchair, who then proceeded to look at us like we were buttholes when we didn't move out the elevator. B. You've got us surrounded. We can't get out. When you show someone a picture on your phone and they start swiping through your pictures, no, don't do that. I don't have anything I don't want you to see, but others might, but it's still none of your business. I didn't want to show you my whole gallery, just one picture. I've stopped handing people my phone to show them pictures. That's why every second photo on my phone is of my balls. I'll jokingly say don't swipe, but they always do, and now it's too late. They've seen my balls. Every time I see them from that day, I'll grab my crotch and smile. Unless you live alone, do not set your alarm for 6 AM and then hit snooze every 9 minutes for the next hour or more. Snooze once, maybe twice. Anything more than that is rude. If I'm somewhere and a stranger and I bump into each other, no real fault of either of us. Sorry should be automatic on both sides. I apologize automatically in a lot of circumstances, but if the other party doesn't do the same, I immediately think they're rude and wish I could retract my apology. Better yet, excuse me, yeah excuse you, glares. I was stopped at the intersection before you, and that means I go first. Don't get peed when I took my turn at the right time. On a similar note, if you got to the intersection first, freaking go. I know you're trying to be polite by letting me go. Don't. You have the right of way. Take it. Don't have your massive stationary group conversations in the middle of the pavement. Don't walk incredibly slow, and if you do, stick to the side and don't meander. In groups, don't walk 5 abreast, 2-3 at most depending on size of path. Don't touch me, you creature. Even worse when you're blocking stairs. I don't want to have to press up against a railing to get around you, you creature. If someone calls you, and you put them on speakerphone, let them know. It's so infuriating to have a serious conversation with someone and then have them tell you midway through the phone call that you've been on speakerphone. It's not a big deal. I'm just sitting here with my best friend, so yes, it is a big deal. I called to talk to you, not them. I hate when someone dangerously overtakes me on the freeway just to take the same exit I was going to. Nice one, butthole. We're both stuck at the lights now, but at least you're a few feet ahead of me. I hate it when I get on the highway and the person in front of me doesn't bother to accelerate above 40 because they are just there to get right back off at the next exit. When you're in a movie theater, bus, airport, or any place else with tons of seats, and some butthole decides to sit right by you even though there's other open seats. People who leave the door ajar, whether it's my workspace or my bedroom, make sure that crap's shut tight, so you can jack off when you want to. If the toilet paper roll is done, please change it. Hard concept for some to obey. Walk on the side of the hallway footpath that your country drives on. Snatching things out of my hands instead of asking if they could see have it. Just last week, this girl who's dating my buddy just grabbed a lighter I had in my hand to light her cigarette. I snatched it back and told her she needs to use her words and to not just grab things from my hand. Ex-smoker here. I remember when I still smoke, I was at this party, and the craving was so strong that when I asked for a light to someone I just met there, I just snatched it from his hands. Instead of waiting for him to hand it to me, I just then realized that was rude and apologized to him twice. If I can hear your show from across the house, through the sound of the AC, the volume is too loud. Eating food off someone else's plate without asking. It is abominably rude behavior that most elementary school children would know is wrong. Joey doesn't share food. Arguing in front of children or in public. When a driver slowly rolls into the crosswalk at a red light. I have admittedly been guilty of this, but it's always because some big ass SUV is blocking the line of sight from my sedan. Generally they're already blocking the lane to begin with. Don't be a jerk to someone in the service industry. Don't yell at the waitress, cashier, or call center rep. The problem you're experiencing isn't their fault, so don't take your anger out on them. Don't make me a conversation piece in front of groups of people. Queuing. If there are multiple people waiting to get something, a queue must be formed. An unorderly rabble is not acceptable. Yes, I am English. Also, if there are multiple windows or service points, have a single queue so the person at the head of it can go to whatever one opens first, not a separate queue for each window. Chewing with your freaking mouth open. Jesus Christ. On a side note, asking somebody a question right as they're putting food into their mouth. When people invite themselves over to my place, I don't mind if you come over, but seriously don't just show up at my house or tell me that you're coming over. It's just not cool. This one really shows our dependence on communication devices. When I was young, very few of my friends had land phones, and cell phones weren't a thing. If you wanted to see someone, you did just that. You went to their place unannounced. And I think it was the norm since the dawn of civilization till the development of phone lines. My bubble of personal space. Unless you're Scandinavian, then it's more of your personal tank of space. Don't ever touch my monitor. Even worse when you poke it so the LCD makes weird flashes and color stains. Don't set your crap on another person's car. Whenever someone takes out my headphones to talk to me, I always have people try to talk to me with both earbuds in. They still haven't learned that I can't hear anyone when both buds are in, and that they should motion for me to take them out before wasting their breath saying crap I can't hear. Stay to the right when you're on a set of stairs. Please clean up after you are done eating in a food court or any public place that serves food. Most people leave all their messes on the table, and this drives me freaking crazy. I don't know if it's an unsaid rule, but personal space. When standing in line, leave a little room between you and the person in front of you. If you stand mere inches behind me, I'm going to feel really uncomfortable. Sitting next to me on the bus when there are a million empty rows and we could both sit alone and in peace, especially if you have a cold or are a dirty mouth breather. Say thank you when someone holds the door open for you. It's not that hard to do and it's blatantly rude if you ignore the gesture. I open doors for people all the time and about 1/15 even notice. How to properly merge onto the highway. 1. Use the fricking accelerator. Speed the frick up. Merging should happen at the speed of traffic, not the same as the speed limit. By the time you are halfway to 2/3 up the on-ramp you should be up to the speed of traffic or even 5 miles per hour over. 2. Look over your fricking shoulder to see the traffic coming behind you once you are halfway up the on-ramp. Your mirror is not fricking good enough. You have to turn around and fricking look. 3. Assess the speed of the cars on the highway that have the fricking right of way. Determine a spot you can merge, and adjust accordingly. If you were using your accelerator properly, this is fricking easy as frick. Continue to look over your shoulder to assess the situation. 4. Merge like a fricking ninja. The idea is that you should merge in such a fashion that the vehicles traveling on the highway didn't have to do a fricking thing to accommodate you entering the highway. Yes, there are exceptions. 1. It's busy as frick. We all have to share the road. If it's unavoidable, let's be fricking nice and let people in when we can. 2. Semi-trucks and trailers. These vehicles are carrying all of the good crap we like to buy. They're also very polite if you're helpful to them. If you know the light signals, use them to help you out. I've driven across the country several times, and if you're good to the truck drivers, they spread the word and help you out. Give them room to merge, as that is a hard vehicle to maneuver quickly. 3. Your vehicle is terrible, and you're in an emergency situation. If your vehicle isn't suitable to drive on the highway, then fricking don't drive on it. If it's an emergency, flash the frick out of your lights so we know. Hazards and brights. Some other tips. 1. Get off the fricking phone. Merging at high speeds is potentially fricking dangerous. Put the phone down long enough to merge. It doesn't take long, and your BFF can wait. 2. Prepare to use the shoulder if you frick up. Seriously, if you don't execute a proper merge and try to merge into someone's side panels, you may find yourself in the shoulder of the highway. 3. Accelerate. Stomp down on the fricking gas pedal. I see so many people slam on their brakes when they could have just accelerated a tiny bit more. I wish I could upvote this more than once. There is nothing that causes me to rage as fast as people who try to merge at 45 in Texas, where people on the highway are going 75. Until your checked luggage actually appears on the belt, stand the frick back. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.